Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily, we are covering off a whole raft of sports for your weekend. That's right, we're talking player props, game picks, best bets. We've got a Rate My Multi. We've got the donation. We've got everything under the sun. We're talking Women's World Cup. I've got some NFL, AFL, NRL. Stats Guy, what's your favourite thing in today's show?
Oh, just Japan to continue their form in the Women's World Cup. They've been absolutely awesome.
You are riding Japan like they are riding and holding on to the whaling tradition of it. But either way, it's Code Bet Daily. It's chock full of goodness. Check it out right now. Welcome to Code Bet Daily. It is Friday, TGIF, am I right? August 4th, all day. August 4th be with you, Stats Guy.
And also with you.
All right, I am your host. I'm Jaymz Clements, the editor of a very good website. It's called Code Bet. In a surprise twist, this is Code Bet Daily. I'm joined by only one of the pontiffs. That's right, the pontiffs of punting. Not to be confused with the pontiffs of ponting. But it is the Stats Guy. What's going on, Stats Guy?
I'm still rattled from that intro, but very keen for the FIFA Women's World Cup is continuing over the weekend. I'll talk about anything but North. I was sick of talking about North on the AFL show yesterday, so I'm keen for all the other sports.
Nice one. Of course, we do not have Alex Donnelly. He is just, gone AWOL. Well, actually, he didn't actually go AWOL because that literally absent without leave. I gave him the thumbs up.
It was just all absent with leave.
All, yeah. He's currently probably tucking into a steak at 10 a.m. Down in Hobart. So, classic vibes. But this is my first show in a couple of days. As you can probably tell a little bit, my voice is still a bit nasally, bro. Every parent out there is just nodding sagely, going, "Yep, 2-day cold. Yep."
Every week.
Just from a 10-month-old coughing into your face. Just like you turn your head and he just coughs right into your mouth. Nothing better. But either way, this is Code Cough Daily, Code Sick Daily. I don't know. Code Not Germany Daily. Jeez.
I know. Bloody hell.
Get that in a second. Either way, this is what we talk about every single day. It's codes, it's betting, it's daily. We've got player props, game picks, and best bets. We'll also have a Rate My Multi. I feel like we should do a donation as well right at the end there, Stats Guy, where we go through every single one of the AFL games for the slate, pick against the line.
Yep.
We'll absolutely nail it and put $10 on it, and that'll be a donation.
Done.
Nice one. But either way, what are we going to look at today? Very simply, we've got the round of 16 starting the Women's World Cup. I'm going to look at my 2 games for Saturday and Sunday, and I believe Stats Guy will look at his 2 games. That sounds like something we'll do.
Yep.
Also, I thought I'd be looking at Germany at some point.
I know.
Nope. That is...
Germany, Brazil, and I think someone else. Can't remember who the other team. There's been some massive upsets, like especially Germany. They're the second, team in the world, ranked team in the world. Cannot believe they didn't make it through in a very easy group. Very easy group. Unbelievable.
It is hilarious that they started off the campaign winning 6-0, and then Morocco come from nowhere to beat Colombia.
Yeah, Morocco through, and they lost to Germany 6-0.
Amazing. I've got another quick little preseason look for the NFL. We've got some AFL, obviously, because I wasn't on yesterday's AFL show. But if you want a breakdown of every single game, you can look at the AFL show or the NRL show. And I'll just look at my one favorite NRL bet as well. I think in my it's kind of a combo player prop game pick, but I'll just chuck it into player props because, getting into the old NRL, the very, very pointy end of that season too, which is very fun. Plenty of value to be found. Stats Guy, what are you looking at?
FIFA Women's World Cup as well, round of 16, a couple of my favourite teams, and then an EPL future with a goal scorer with a bit of value.
Don't mind it. Good stuff. Let's do it.
Player props. Props.
Be good.
There we go.
Player props for the AFL. Now, I did cover off, I might not have been on the show, but I have been working all week still, just beaving away at the old laptop. So I wrote the Western Bulldogs Richmond preview. That is the game, the Friday night footy game tonight.
Yeah.
Marvel Stadium. That is a key aspect of this. Marvel Stadium.
Yes.
Richmond stink. We know that. At Marvel, 4-8-1 over the last 5 years. But there's a couple of, in terms of player props, one always is going to stand out to me when you play at Marvel. It's Cody Weightman, the Flea. I love the Flea. Alex hates him.
I can't stand him either, but he's a good player.
I hate him. I love Weightman. I think he's...
He always kicks 6 against North.
Yeah, when he kicks 6 against Carlton, then we might be singing a different tune, but otherwise. He is a Marvel specialist.
He is.
Stats guy. He doesn't mind just going for a big bag every time. He's playing at Marvel. And if you go through the breakdown I had on the site, it talks about how he basically is just unstoppable when he's under the dome. I think the last, last 5 games there, he's kicked 18 total goals.
Wow.
Doesn't mind a snag. So for 3+ for Cody Weightman there today, it's actually dropping pretty precipitously in price. It was $3.15 when I wrote about it yesterday or the day before. I've updated it today. It's $2.75 now. So I wouldn't mind digging into that and maybe even going a little bit higher just because that Richmond defense, though, it should probably have its hands full a bit, I guess, with this Dogs forward line. I mean, you say should, but the Dogs forward line is just the constant question mark of what's going to happen this week? We don't know.
I don't know.
And is Jaymz Ugle-Hagan going to kick 7 goals or put 5 out on the full? We don't know. Aaron Norton, is he going to go completely MIA in the second half of a game? Probably.
Maybe.
But in the first half, he might kick 4. I don't know. But Weightman feels like the constant at Marvel. So I'd probably, if you want to go safe, the 3+ for $2.75 is actually feels pretty good.
Yep.
The Richmond backline as well. Look, they've got a lot of those sort of mid-sized bodies as well, right? Like you've got the bigger sort of dudes that you can throw at Jaymz Ugle-Hagan and Norton. And they do have a lot of the sort of guys that can run with Weightman. So I would be probably shying away from like 4+, but the 3+ does feel sort of handy. A couple of other ones. Paddy Cripps, my beloved Paddy Cripps.
He's back.
He's crushing it. He loves playing the Saints as well. He averages 29 a game against the Saints.
Wow.
25+ touches and a goal for Cripper. Sounds pretty good for me. That lands you. I actually had that up before, and now it's disappeared. But that's basically one of my favorite ones, I think, for this. I think it was like $2.75. It sort of fell in because he hasn't kicked too many goals this year, Cripps. But against the Saints, just gets a lot of the ball. This Saints team, look, when we talk about contested ball, stats guy.
No, they've got a lot of outside players, yeah.
The Saints one of the teams that you think about? Probably not. So
no,
I think
definitely not.
Plenty of it. And without Walsh and Chera or Kennedy. So I think there's going to be a lot of George Hewitt, a.k.a. Blewett. He could, rack up a few touches as well. Doc, I think, swinging off the halfback flank. Plenty of touches for him as well. But Cripps right in the guts of it. 25 and a goal for me. Nice. And then a couple of the Essendon looks. I'm sure that you guys dug into this yesterday on the AFL show.
A little bit, yeah.
Wallop West Coast. The big question for me is, who do you like, 2-meter Peter or Kyle Langford to dominate? And in the time and a tradition, why not both?
Oh, picking a Los Dos.
We're going to pick it up. Let's go. Peter Wright, 4+, $2.35. That is so short. It's ridiculous.
That is very short.
6+ though for 2-meter Peter. $7.75.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good. He doesn't mind Marvel. Doesn't mind under the dome. Langford, though, 4+ for me. I think I'd probably rather trust Langford a little bit more.
But just slightly better form, yeah.
He could just run rings around this West Coast team, if you ask me. So 4+ is $3.30. He's got a career high of 5+ goals. If he equals that, that's $6.60. I actually like that a bit too.
Cool.
And of course, my favourite bet of the season, Zach Butters, Connor Rozee, Ollie Wines, 25, 25, 20. It's actually pretty good value at the moment. It's $4 because Rozee, Butters, look, they've been sort of a little bit up and down, Wines as well. But down at the Cattery, 25, 25, 20, it just feels like the sort of game where the Power are going to need those three dudes just to be right in the absolute guts of it, causing havoc, trying to run over the top of this Cats team that's got like half the team out basically at this point. So if Port are going to bounce back, it's going to be this week, keep their season on track. If not, it's absolute, worry town, I think, for their finishing position in the rest of the
year. Well, at least they're going to be in the 8. It's more, Geelong have to win just to make finals, which is crazy.
The desperation should be there, but I think the Power trio.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a bit of cream for you. 25, 25, 20. $3.99, I think, at the moment with Ladbrokes, which I really like.
Nice.
And as I mentioned, that quick NRL one, we've got, South Sydney taking on Cronulla tomorrow night.
Big game, yeah.
Huge game for two teams that have varying fortunes this season, shall we say, Stats Guy?
They've dropped off second half of the season. I don't know what's going on at Cronulla especially.
So Latrell to score an anytime try, Campbell Graham to score an anytime try, and South to win. It actually gets you $5 in Bet365 at the moment.
Wow.
Which I like a lot because if I feel like this Cronulla, we've talked about this ad nauseum, right? The Cronulla defense stinks.
Yeah.
And those are your two most likely, I think, for South, and they should get in at some point. If you think South will win that, off you go. $5. Thank you very much. Thank you, mother, or the rabbit.
Very nice.
All right. What about you, Stats Guy?
As you mentioned, the round of 16 starts tomorrow in the FIFA Women's World Cup. I'm having a look at my favourite team at the moment, other than Australia, the Matildas, in Japan. Japan have been absolutely awesome, top in the group. So I'm looking at Japan versus Norway, which is one of the games tomorrow. And the Golden Boot leader at the moment, who no one picked, is Hinata Miyazawa. She plays in the local Japanese league, and she's been absolutely awesome, leading the Golden Boot with 4 goals. She scored 2 against Zambia. Everyone's like, oh, it's 2 against Zambia. Like, they're not one of the big teams. Then she scored 2 against Spain, which was unbelievable. So she's doing it against... She definitely deserves a contract in one of the higher leagues. She has been absolutely awesome, probably their best player. I looked up, she usually plays as a midfielder for her club team in Japan. But after she scored that first goal in their first game, they just put her right up to right winger and almost in that striker position, just to the right of the striker. And she's been absolutely awesome. I think, the more... they've got really good passes in midfield as well. So she's getting a lot of shots off, and she's got great dribbling ability. Also scored goals with both feet in this tournament. So Miyazawa, anytime goal, leading the Golden Boot at $3.10. I was really surprised about. They've got 3 strikers ahead of her in the odds, which I was very surprised about when she's the leading goal scorer in the whole tournament. And then the other game I was going to look at was Netherlands, South Africa.
Before you get to Netherlands, South Africa, verbal meme. Japan versus Norway. Like, this is the crossed arms, fist together wailing.
yeah. I didn't think about that. Only you would think about it.
The last 2 proponents are wailing. They're just like, yes, we're the whalers. Let's go. How good is just harpooning?
Is there like is there a harpoon as the trophy or something?
They should. Bunch of jerks.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell, I didn't think that's where that was going. Netherlands, South Africa is the game on Sunday, around 16 as well. Jill Roord, who we were on during the live stream, she's been absolutely awesome. Second in the Golden Boot race. And won us some money last game. I was very happy about that. She got 3 goals across the 3 games. She got 2 goals last game. She got the pace and power through midfield. Now, to South Africa, they have made it through, but they have conceded the most goals of any team left in the round of 16. I watched their game, or the end of their game the other night. They were just about half their team just attack because they've got all this pace, and then they go, oh, crap, it's coming back. So they could even get a goal in this one just because they love to attack, but their defense is, not good at all. So I don't mind Roord to score here. She's also got 8 goal contributions in 8 games in those qualifiers as well. So, she's always in attack. Every time they go into attack, they look for Roord. So Roord, anytime goal at $2.20. I think, anything over that $2 mark for your top goal scorer is great value. So, get on Roord again.
Nice one. I like that a lot. To be honest, like Japan, Norway, I'm not all about hunting humans, but at the same time, if we sort of just set up a couple of harpoon guns on the side of that thing and just go, how do you like this? How do you like it? Not great, is it? It's not fun. James.
I don't know if the players are the ones doing it, but maybe they are. I don't know.
Maybe that's what they do in the off season.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, let's do some game picks.
What's your best match or game pick?
All right, Women's World Cup, as we've hit on, Stats Guy's already covered off a couple of his dudes. His
gals.
Yeah, his 2 games. That's right. There are 2 games between the women's teams of Japan, Norway, Netherlands, South Africa. I've got Switzerland and Spain in Sweden versus USA. So Switzerland, Spain. Swiss haven't conceded a goal. There's only 3 teams that have done that. Stats Guy, can you name them?
I can see them on the run sheet, but I knew Japan because I was going to talk about them. I wouldn't have known the other one. Oh, no, I did know the other one because I was there, actually, yeah.
Jamaica.
Japan and Jamaica. Jamaica, that's unbelievable.
Jamaica me crazy. All right. I think they were the first team to have 0-0 consecutive games.
Yeah, they had to get funds just to get to this World Cup, I heard yesterday, just to raise money to get there, and now they're through to the next round. So unbelievable effort. Very good. Spain
won 2 games. Then they got slapped around by your Japanese ladies there. So 4-0. That was chaos.
I don't know how that happened.
Loved it too. Won us some money. But I reckon this one is going to be just as tight. I think the Swiss have just proven that they can hang with every other team out there.
Yep.
Let's go to penalties.
Oh, why not? First one.
Spain to win on penalties, $15. Let's do it. Knockout stages, off we go. Don't mind it. And if you do just like Spain, look, to be honest, I feel like this will be like a 1-0, otherwise Spain win.
Yep.
I think Spain just win it. To qualify, like this is the problem. Like Spain are priced so low in the market. So $1.14 for them to qualify, which is what win in regular time or
they don't give you much value for, like I think Japan was like $1.80 and then $1.30 to qualify. It's a bit of a big drop off.
Yeah, $1.36 for them to win in regular time. So if you want to go the correct score, I feel like the Swiss can sort of hang as mentioned. So the correct score of Spain 1-0 is actually $5.50.
Okay.
Maybe if you want to go 2-0, $5.50 as well. I don't really like Switzerland's chances to get on the board in regulation, but you'd see the Spanish give up 4 goals to Japan. So I don't know. It's a tricky one though. So I feel like this is going to be a 1-1 sort of situation where we get through to extra time, and then we're going to penalties, and Spain win it.
Cool. I like that.
Sunday, Sweden versus the USA.
Huge.
This could be final, stats guy. What is it? 1 versus 3.
Yeah, Sweden. Awesome team. USA back champion. So this is awesome.
Tell you what, USA have not been wildly convincing.
No, they've dropped off in odds massively for the whole thing as well. I think they're up to like almost $6, and they were $3 literally this time last week.
A 0-all draw with Portugal, and just not a giant amount to write home about, really, all tournament, right? What else did they?
1-all draw to Netherlands.
Yeah, they beat.
And then they won comfortably in the first game, but nothing massive, compared to your other big teams,
Whereas Sweden, not too bad so far. Like, they've just had enough where you're sort of looking at it going, ooh, they beat Argentina. They beat Italy really handily.
Yep.
That was like, I feel it was at the Sweden-South Africa game where it's like, oh, hang on a second. South Africa are actually half decent. Sweden like snuck by right at the end.
Yep.
2-1. So it does feel like Sweden are very much more in form. So I'm going to go Sweden head to head.
Why not? Why not? Yeah.
1-0 maybe. I just don't like, well, to be honest, against Portugal, we saw the USA have like a fairly decent chunk of chances that they just didn't take their opportunities with, right?
Yep.
So I feel like Sweden will make them pay more than Portugal will. So I feel like this could be 2-1 Sweden win, 1-0. I feel like Sweden win by 1 at least. $2.25 to qualify. The Sweden head-to-head, just the price. Like, we could just go that.
What's that price?
The Sweden head-to-head is $3.40.
Okay.
So I'm going Sweden head-to-head.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Portugal, probably should have won. They had the better chance hitting the post at the end there. So, yeah.
Exactly. I did see, what was it, like, 10 centimeters away from USA being out of the entire thing altogether.
Crazy.
I don't know. That could also be the wake-up call for the USA, and they might win this like 3-0. So, but look, I'm going to go with the form team. So give me Sweden.
Nice.
All right. What about you, stats guy?
Yeah, back to some games that I just talked about. Japan taking on Norway. Japan have probably been, or statistically, they're the best team in this tournament so far. They've got the most goals, the best goal difference, and haven't conceded 1 goal, which is unbelievable for a team that loves to attack. Even in a very tricky group, as we've mentioned before. Their pace allows them to attack without need of a lot of possession. They literally, I think they had like 30% in the couple of games where they just sit back and then they go long and use their pace, it's exactly like their men's team. I don't know if they've been coached the same way, but I remember watching the men's team in the World Cup. They'd sit back, use the pace and their quick passing to get through, even with not much possession. Norway only had 1 win. They smashed the Philippines, who aren't great. So they were extremely lucky to get through. A lot of groups you needed 2 wins, so they were very lucky to get through with just 1 win. Japan also won this meeting not that long ago, 4-1. So I'm very surprised that just the odds head-to-head here. Japan head-to-head is $1.80. I think that's to do with winning in regular time rather than extra time and penalties and stuff. But I think they're going to easily win that in regular time. Then the Japan over 2.5 goals. I think it's happened in their last 4 or 5 matches. Japan, they just score goals. They might even concede one because they love that quick pace up in attack and everyone sort of follows. But it's going to easily be a Japan win, I think, and if they're going to win, it could be like a 3-0, maybe even a 3-1. So Japan and over 2.5 goals at $3.20, I really like in that one as well.
Nice one. It has treated us pretty nicely.
Yeah. So Japan and goals has just been awesome. They got 11 goals in 3 games. You got to get on them. Then my other game that I was going to cover was Netherlands, South Africa. Netherlands were last World Cup's finalists, as we've mentioned before, undefeated in the group stage, and even drew to back-to-back champs US. I know the US didn't look that great, but still a decent effort to draw with them. They did play last year, this Netherlands and South Africa matchup, and Netherlands won a huge 5-1. As I mentioned before, South Africa just love conceding goals. If they're going to somehow win this, it'll be like 4-3 or something like that. They won a couple of games 3-2. So, can't really trust them to keep up that defense. And then, as mentioned, their pace is really strong, South Africa, in attack, but their defensive structure is lacking. They've conceded the most goals of any round of 16 team. South Africa had a reasonably easy group run, so I don't think they're going to get anywhere near the Dutch here. Netherlands, halftime, full-time, trying to find a bit more value, but $1.75, it's not too bad. You could even put it in a multi if you want. Netherlands are just too strong, too experienced, and had a much better group stage, so get on them.
Nice one. That's good. I like that. South Africa, what do they love? Conceding goals, biltong, and moving to...
Absolutely.
All right, let's do some best bets.
It's best bets. It's best bets. It's time for all the best bets.
That's the song of the summer. I'll tell you that much.
All
right. These best bets. Receiving touchdowns. I've already hit on him before. Jamar Chase. As I've been digging into the NFL preseason more and more, that should all be popping off up on the site as of next week because it will be a month out from the start of the season. Jamar Chase, he had 9 touchdowns in 12 games last year. Stats guy.
Wow.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Devontae Adams led the league with 14 in like 17 games. So it's only 5 more in 5 more games. So if Jamar Chase stays healthy, he's an absolute monster. And I expect like a little bit of a drop-off from Devontae Adams going from a guy who can actually throw the football in Derek Carr to a bloke who's afraid of throwing the football in Jimmy G. So Devontae Adams, you can't catch touchdowns if the guy doesn't throw the ball.
That's true.
Ever. But Jamar Chase, look, he's got smoking Joe Burrow there. It's the thing is like it's a loaded receiving corps, as I keep talking about with Cincinnati, right? I bang on about it. The thing is, Jamar Chase is always like their red zone target because he's big. Yep. He's just massive. He and Tyler Boyd sort of end up splitting a lot of those, but Chase is usually the first look. So for 9 in 12 games last year, if he just stays healthy, I think he could easily win the receiving crown. And he's about $7 for that at the moment. So not bad. And if we want to do a rate my multi, let's do a line bet multi. These are my best.
Rate my multi.
So we're going to do an extended version of this for the donation, but the line bet multi, these are basically my best bets for the weekend. It's Essendon minus 53.5 over West Coast, Adelaide minus 22.5 over Gold Coast, which I know that there's a little bit of consternation like, oh, Gold Coast were really good against Brisbane.
Yeah.
But I think Adelaide over.
Home, yeah. So is that the actual line now? That's not an alternate line. Oh, okay. It's gone up 4 from yesterday, yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
like the lines have been moving pretty chaotically in the AFL this week, which has been interesting to see.
Yep.
Collingwood, 31.5 over Hawthorn, which is, it's sort of one of those ones that gave me a little bit of pause as well, because you're like, oh, the Hawks could stick with him at the MCG.
Hawks aren't horrible at the G, yeah, but Collingwood.
Collingwood also just run over the top by 60.
Yep.
And you'd be like, yeah, checks out. Port plus 9.5 against Geelong. Let's bring it. I think that's even if Port lose that, I think it's like a wildly close game. I think Geelong are in struggle town, and Carlton. This line is shortened dramatically as well from 14.5 to 10.5. That 5-leg rate my multi-stats guy, $25.15. Give us a rating.
I'll give it a 9, I reckon. I actually really like it. The one probably I am a tiny bit worried about is Collingwood, just because they always seem to have a close game. But, yeah, a lot of those picks were the ones that we went over in the AFL show. So, 9, I really like it.
Nice one. Well, that's the thing. Like the Hawthorn-Collingwood thing is a bit strange, like just in general, right? I think that it was last year, that was the second close. I think they beat Carlton in round 10.
Yep.
Like in a really, really close game as well, the Pies, and then next week beat Hawthorn in a crazy close
yeah,
game
that's right. Yeah.
Basically, those were the first 2 weeks of that insane run where they just won every close game ever, and away they went, right? So you know that the Hawks can play them tight, but this is a very different Hawks team. So
true.
I just feel like Collingwood might have a bit of a bounce back after last week's loss to right the ship and just put the foot down. Let's go to your best bet, and then we'll do the donation.
Nice. So, yeah, an EPL future. Alex and I have covered some of the top goal scorers for your team in the EPL this week. So having a look at Manchester United, there's a few really good goal scorers on Ladbrokes that are over $2. So have a look to see if one of your favourite players is in there. One of mine, Marcus Rashford. We were all over him last season in the Premier League. Had his breakout season. He had 17 goals last season, finally living up to his potential. A lot of people touted him a couple of years ago as one of the best players in the world. Just couldn't click, but finally, he's got that confidence back. He's got insane pace and can finish in so many ways. Just always seems to be in the right spots. He had 17 goals last season for Manchester United, which was 9 goals more than Bruno Fernandes as their second top scorer. So Rashford is really good value over at $2.10 here at the moment. Very surprised. Fernandes does take their penalties just because he's like a sort of penalty specialist. So I haven't looked into the stats, but I think at least 6 to 8 of his goals that Fernandes scored last season were from penalties, whereas Rashford is the one they go to every time an attack. Fernandes is more the one that crosses it in and things like that. Man U also are looking to, I think they were trying to get Harry Kane and even another striker. They didn't actually get a striker because Rashford isn't your sort of natural striker. They didn't get that big name striker, so Rashford's going to have to stay right in the middle there. He's going to be, I reckon he can easily clear that 17 goals. He even missed a few games because of injury. So, Rashford, Man United's top scorer at $2.10, just great value, I think. Second was Bruno Fernandes. As I said, the only way he really scores goals is penalties. He loves passing the ball, whereas Rashford is every time he looks up, he's just going to shoot. So get him Rashy.
That's great. $2.10 just to absolutely smash them. Good job.
Yep.
Nice one. United. Is there anything you're like concerned about the fact that Rashford went on like that absolute insane scoring binge and that, might just drop off a little bit, might not score every single game in a row?
He might even get less than 17, but it's sort of very shared offense compared to some other teams where, like Haaland and things like that might get 30 goals. Even if he gets 12 to 15 goals, he's probably going to be their top scorer still. They like to rotate the squad a lot, and they don't have that big striker that's going to score every game. So that's my theory on that one.
All right, let's do a fully AFL donation.
This one might actually win. Donation.
Maybe not actually, perhaps. Donation. Look, if we're just going to go all the lines, how do we feel about this one, Stats Guy? The Dogs tonight, minus 14.5.
Oh, look, I don't know if I do think they're going to win, but
14.5. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. But
it's a bit of a weird line. But I'd be happy to take that, I think. Richmond.
Essendon, minus 53.5 over West Coast.
Yeah, I don't mind that one.
Marvel Stadium.
Yep.
Adelaide, Gold Coast, as mentioned, 22.5. Collingwood, minus 31.5. Port, plus 9.5. Sydney, plus 7.5. Underdogs.
Yeah.
Against GWS in the Battle of the Bridge. I don't trust GWS.
They've won 7 in a row. I don't know.
7 in a row, and I look at them going, God, but you're not that good.
Yeah. They've won. Let me have a look. They've won, I think, about 6 games under that line, or 5 games, something like that. So, could take Sydney the line there.
Sydney plus 7.5, because I think that's going to be really close. North plus 42.5 against the Demons.
Nah. I'm not backing that one.
Carlton minus 10.5 and Brisbane minus 12.5 as well. So 9 games of AFL into the donation. That's $342.
Alex will be proud of that. It's over the 300 mark.
How can you not go wrong? I'm just saying there's $10 in that now. And
I'd be switching the North and Melbourne one, I reckon. Other than that, I like it.
Actually drops it to 327.
Oh, what's the point of that?
Well, it ruins the value, Stats Guy. I'm actually, to be honest, that North Melbourne game is pretty fascinating because it is a bit of a litmus test for Melbourne, just for the simple fact of is your forward line actually functional now? Yeah. And we're about to find out.
That's why I tipped in the show Petty to back it up his big game. It'd just be interesting if he can. Yeah,
it's gonna be fascinating. Brisbane over in Freo as well is really tricky on Sunday. The 12.5 there for the Lions. You figure they're a way better team than Freo, but Freo just keep doing dumb stuff.
It'd be a massive. We were saying on the show yesterday as well. Freo beating Geelong in Geelong. And then losing at home would just be a classic Freo thing to do this year.
All right, there you go. That's an entire weekend. We've got Women's World Cup. What have we talked about? AFL, NRL. If there's other NRL picks as well, go listen to the NRL show with Alex and Phil. It's a good one this week, actually. But that's it. Co-Bet Daily done for today, done for this week. We'll be back on deck on Monday. I think we'll have all 3 of us back as well, which would be fun. So get right around the shows. That's right, the AFL and NRL show as well as the Co-Bet Daily Show. Subscribe across all your podcast apps, like, review, and star them all. And check us a follow across all the socials. Make Leo earn his crust. Just out there loafing around doing not much. Facey, IG, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Twitch, all the good stuff. And send in any questions. We can rate your multi as well. And, Stats Guy will. And if he might put your multi up against one of his own.
Yeah, that'd be good. Sandwich bet with a random person.
Sandwich bets out the wazoo. But either way, that's it, I think. Good stuff. I'm just getting absolutely ramped up for this NFL season as well.
Not far.
This is where hitting AFL and NRL finals is great.
Premier League next week as well.
That's right. Thank you, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
And thanks to Gerald for producing. He does a great job. Day in, day out. Does all the work, basically, does Gerald. We just sit here and just rabbit on.
Yeah.
But either way, thanks to Alex for not rocking up and just being in Hobart. Hopefully it's really cold and wet. But either way, what do we say, Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly.
All right, may all your picks come in. Happy punting. Have a good weekend. We'll catch you on Monday. Co-Bet Daily, out.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.